But Aubrey, thank you for taking time talking about your short, which has made it into the Sawdust City Fright Fest, which
Yes.
we're looking forward to showing on Saturday block. And
So
your
excited.
short, Good Intentions. Um,
Yes.
yeah, tell me a little bit about it. Now, I know it was was it part of the 48-hour film
Yes.
challenge? So how
Yep.
did it come about?
Well, so I am in Sheboygan now. This is my third year living there. And like what had happened was my first year moving. That was when I was lucky and met a few film nerds that
Sure.
yay wanted to work on things. And my first year, they did a 48, and that was a crash course into what the heck is a 48? and it just what amazed me. And then the second year, one of my good friends, also from that group, was like, "I'm brave enough. I'm going to do it." And then I helped more, and it was a really fun time of being exhausted. And then yay, we made a film somehow? Question mark. And that was great. And then the following year, aka last year, when
Hmm.
we made the film, then there was talk of well, who's going to do it this time? And I asked my buddy who had led the team that year, are you doing it round two? And they're like, no, 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 I
I've
will
had
join the
enough.
team. I am done. I will not lead. I've done my time. And there was a big thing where everyone who had been a part of the last group was like, well, I want to do it, but I don't want to lead. But if someone else leads, I'll do it. And then I had this moment of well, I want to do it and I don't want to lead, but it's the only way.
It's the
And
only way we'll do this.
yes. And so I bit the bullet and was like, all right, I'll do my time. And that was the start of getting a team together.
Mhm.
And then through lots of emails and, oh my gosh, we have a deadline that we have to make it through. Finally, the team was solidified, the location was solidified. We actually had either we were going to film at UWGB or we were going to film at this really bizarre once a bowl factory location. And so
Sure,
it was
sure.
okay, we have options. Let's see what we get. Then finally, Friday, we got the prompts we needed to use. And then three of us, we were together in a room making the script. And then things just kept falling into place. And all of a sudden, at the end, at Sunday at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. or whatever the heck it was, we submitted a film, and it was, whoa, we did it. Oh, cool.
That's very impressive. It's very impressive. Now, did they let you pick the genre, but you had to use the prompts? Did they give you a prompt that you
Yeah.
had to use? I know sometimes it can get involved to where you've got to say this line, only be this genre, and
Hmm.
use this prop, or they give you one of
Yes.
those. So what
Yeah.
what was some of the
So
stuff they gave you?
yeah, so what happened, which side note, you can go to this really cool live event where you actually draw things from a bucket, or you can sit at home and let someone else do that. So this time around it was I will sit at home and not do the 3 hour drive to Madison. So finally I'm on my couch and I get a text message here are the things we drew for you. And what happens is, because it's the sci-fi horror challenge if you do it in fall,
Mm.
which is really nice because in spring, the 48-hour project, they do all genres, which
Mm.
cool, but my heart's with horror and sci-fi.
Sure.
So in fall, it's horror and sci-fi. But what they do is then they give you one horror option and one sci-fi option.
Oh, okay.
So for this one, we drew witchcraft for horror, and then sci-fi. I don't remember what it was, but I
Mhm.
remember it was really wild and it felt very specific. And it was, oh no, 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 we're doing witchcraft. Got it.
That's
Cool.
too involved. We don't have a lot of time for that one. So,
Yep, exactly. So don't remember what that other option was. That being said, then they have a required prop. And so the required prop was a recorder. And we were told we're not specifying what type of recorder, so do with it what you'd like. And then, of course, we had a group chat, and our music guy also had an old timey tape recorder, and he's like,
sure.
I can bring it over tonight if you want. So that just made it cool. We got that. Then we had a required character type, which you had to do a school psychologist,
Oh,
or
okay.
no, scratch that, not school. We added that.
Right.
Just psychologist.
Mhm.
They had to be named Aaron Rose. So that's how we ended up with the main character's name. And then we had a required line, which in our final edit, we took it out actually because
Oh.
we did not like it or our use of it. But then just thinking if there were any other required bits. That's about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of requirements, but that's the end of that.
And now you made me feel old because you said old-timey recorder, and remember that recorder. So thank you. I
I'm
appreciate
so
that quite a
sorry.
bit. No, that's quite no, I'm joking. I'm joking. But no, when I saw the tape recorder the first time, I'm like, oh, they went tape recorder. I'm like, that's cool.
Yes.
At least it's not an 8-track. Then we're okay there. So, but
Right. I will say too, the audio that we had, like the chanting and stuff
yeah.
happen in it, that was actually recorded to the physical tape that I have like in my
Oh,
collection
nice.
forever
Sure,
now.
sure.
Our fellow who did audio, he was like, I will not let you not do it on a tape recorder. Like, I will leave. I don't think he would have left, but it felt like if there's one thing that would hurt his soul, it would be that. And so he multiple times was like, so when are we going to like record that? And we're like, time crunch. And he's like, but like, when are we going to record that? So we did it.
Well, that's awesome that I mean, that's authenticity though, too. Then you got it
Yes,
on tape,
we're
it's that
real.
quality, just a little
Yes.
hiss and the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
you secured the location ahead of time. I always wondered about that with the contests of like, okay, you only got 48 hours. How are you going to find everything? But
Right.
that's
Yep.
crazy that you put together. What you put together is a nice, solid little short that I think goes places you didn't think it would go now.
Thank you.
So that was Green Bay you did shoot it in then, correct?
We used UW Green Bay, the
Right.
Sheboygan location. But
Ah,
yeah,
you
yep.
used one of the satellite locations. Smart move. There
Exactly.
you go. There you go.
Yeah.
That's nice that they have an auditorium like that at one of the satellite locations.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Well,
they're just a building,
exactly. And we had done like the tour of the whole
Sure.
campus, and like
hmm
we saw different labs, we saw the stage, we saw some like classrooms, and even the office we shot in was like actually someone's office, and like luckily they
Nice.
just they
Nice.
just love horror, so they
Yeah.
had like the skull and whatnot there already. So we were lucky with that one. Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that worked out well for you, and I do dig the story, and your efficiency at using other things to get your ideas across. Because I think I think smaller budget or no budget films have to get more creative, and you do here,
Yes.
especially when you get near the climax of the short. Not to spoil too much, but there's an effect where you're like, okay, how are they going to do that? And you're like, we're gonna just close the door. That's how we're gonna.
Yep. Exactly. It's all in your head. It's fine.
Now you do have some makeup effects and stuff going on in here. Did you have someone who knew that, or was that kind of learning on the
Yeah.
job? Or
Well, we were so lucky. Claude, who is Izzy in the
Mhm.
story, also has just like a kit of blood and gore.
Oh,
And
nice.
so Claude brought all of that. We did have when Claude slash Izzy experiences the ultimate doom, that was actually the effect that was most difficult to do, because we
Mm,
had like a tube that someone else that Johnny has in his hand, and
sure.
he's supposed to click
Squeeze it.
down
Yeah.
on it as he does his actions. I'm trying to be spoiler free, but I think I might give a little away. That's okay. But we had the technical difficulty where like we couldn't time it perfectly, so like we had someone else underneath him with a pump, and they're like pumping, just doing the action over and over. That was wild. Then there's also the door.
Yes.
That was a crap ton of fake blood that we whop. And then when we had first looked at that spot, it was like, oh, thank goodness, this is like there's no
Tile.
carpet. This is a spot that we can easily clean up. Yay. Like, I don't want the person who's letting us use this space like get fired forever. Of course, though, you don't think about how fake blood will travel and travel, or I should say I didn't, at 8 p.m. to midnight brain. And so it's time to clean that spot up, and I see that there's like little pieces of carpet that were once there that this
Oh.
fake blood is sticking to. And so I'm like so worried. What do we do? How do we clean? Ah! One of our cast and crew members then went to Quick Trip to go get a bunch of paper towel and cleaning supplies at midnight, in which I'm pretty sure we left that attendant really concerned, as they're like, nothing is in here. Yeah, just cleaning up some blood.
No, it's Quick Trip at midnight. I don't think you phased anybody at that point. They're like,
That's true. Very true. So we went under the radar. But yeah, so we were really fortunate with having just a lot of fake blood and the ability to clean it up.
Yeah, that's important. Well, I know there's
Yeah.
two types of fake blood too. You could get the soapy kind and the syrup kind. And so depending on what you could use, it's a little bit easier to clean up. But yeah, fake blood in general, I've always heard the stories, and I've dealt with it very little myself. It is difficult, regardless of the form, difficult to clean up. It's
only were real blood, it would just be easier. Come on.
real blood. We just pour some hydrogen peroxide on it and call it a day. But
exactly.
It's kind of frowned upon using real blood, you know.
Exactly. For good reasons, of course.
Now you have it in the shot behind you for your wallpaper. There, the salt design.
Yep.
That looked like it took a little while.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I will say, like half of cast and crew, we were working on creating a shot list. And then I told Jake, who was one of the writers, and then Maddie, who plays Witch number 3, like, hey, if you guys, while we're working on this, if you can just come up with a salt circle, like, we have the salt. Thank you. I owe you. And I thought I would get like the crappiest like circle and maybe like some X's in the middle. So imagine like we've been distracted thinking of like, what will we show on screen? And then to walk into the auditorium and see all those symbols, all those things totally unprompted. I'm like, that made me so surprised in the best way ever.
and it was also one take with the tape recorder sliding over it, I'm sure.
Oh, yep, that was terrifying. And like the assistant director, Dan, he was the one who had to do the slide. So of course he's like, well, what if I don't do this right? Like, what do we do? We're all nervous and we have the camera and we're like, oh, this is one shot. Otherwise, forget 48 hours. It'll take forever. But it worked. Yay.
It worked. It comes together. Yeah.
The story is trust the process, trust your people, and don't be the one to actually do it yourself.
And sometimes you get the best results from filmmaking like that, especially indie filmmaking, you know.
Yes.
Again, especially when it sounds like you have the crew, a good crew, where everybody's willing to do just about everything just for the sake of telling your story.
Exactly.
You know, and that comes out on here, and I loved the theme of it and everything. I thought it worked really well for a short. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. You played it well. Some of the lighting and stuff that you have in here as well, with the different colors and such too. Did you
I love neon? Can you tell?
You'd have quite a bit of neon. Was that just a personal choice, or were you trying to go for like that Italian horror motif, or you just like neon?
I honestly think it's a little bit of both. Like, I've always found myself drawn to the horror where it's like, it's so pretty too. Like, what? How do they do that? And then our lighting person, Aaron, I told him, I'm like one, he's amazing with any lighting you give him. Sure. But usually I see him do really natural, dramatic, but very natural lighting. And so a few days before we even got together, we had our like meeting with cast and crew. And that's when I like throw out like, hey, Aaron, if there's any way we could have as much neon as possible, that would be great. And I think his reaction was just like, what? Like, you don't even know what we're making and you want this? But he freaking delivered. And what was great is the film actually, I think that adds some tensions to it. It wasn't just like, give me neon. But
just throw some neon up there. Why not?
Exactly. Come on.
So you say you're a horror aficionado, you're a horror fan, which it sounds like. What would you say was one of your more influential horror films, and maybe that made you want to get into doing this craziness that is indie filmmaking?
Well, I will say, I for the longest time I thought I was more like mystery and
Mm,
psychological thriller fan.
mhm.
And like so I would watch like Silence of the Lambs as like teenager, and I
Sure,
was like,
sure.
"Oh man, like this is wonderful. I love this." But then I would like start to watch horror movies, and like anytime there was violence, I would look away and I'd be like, "I can't handle this kind of thing." Ah. And then slowly I really started to realize, no, stop lying to yourself. You actually do love horror, and for some reason you thought you didn't, and it's been that that hill ever since.
It's
That being said, honestly, like I feel like there's short films like Creep
mhm.
that really are good at telling a story and showing that like you don't need to have the huge budgets to do it.
Right.
Which amazing there. That being said, honestly, I feel like every horror movie I watch, there's just a little something I take away from it, whether
Sure,
it
sure.
drives me nuts or like or
Hmm.
whether it actually scares me or just leaves me happy. That being said, the ones that keep me guessing or the ones that have unhappy endings are definitely my jam. So
You like the downer endings. Okay, you like the downer.
exactly.
So you're a fan of The Mist then, which
Yes.
which if folks haven't seen it, make sure you are in a happy mood because by the end of the film of The Mist, the adaptation of Stephen King, you won't be happy. You will
Yes. Yep.
that's got to be one of the most brutal endings I've seen in any horror film, independent or otherwise, is that
Yep.
ending to The Mist. And for myself, I'm a parent anyway, so it adds that
Yeah.
extra level. But even if you're not, you're just like, man, that's just a soul crusher.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Such a
Yeah.
soul crusher. But at the same time, I'm not always for the nihilistic ending, but I think if it fits, if it's really well done and it fits, I really appreciate it. I
Yep.
think when you have nihilistic endings just to be nihilistic, you can tell, and you're just like, okay, you could have gone a different way with this, but nope,
Yep.
you just wanted to be negative.
You just wanted to destroy me and you didn't earn it. Come on.
You didn't earn it, At least The Mist, you
100%.
you earned it. This one, you didn't earn it at all.
Exactly.
Uh,
You need
s-
that.
so so you like the more violent horror films now, but what do you think of some of those? I mean, because we've had the trend over the years, they talk about elevated horror and all of this, like Midsummer, which I love Midsummer.
Yes.
Are you a fan of that one?
That is definitely one of my favorites.
Hmm.
There was an anniversary screening of it a year or so that I drove like an hour and a half to see it at AMC because there's only Marcus's around here, and
Yes.
that was worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that one surprised me. I enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy a lot of horror. There's very
Yo.
little horror I don't enjoy. The only ones that kind of get me are ones where they claim they're horror and you're waiting for it, and you're like,
Yo.
well, you had a horror stinger, but now we're about an hour into it, and
Yo.
I've not seen any other horror whatsoever.
Exactly. I think sometimes too, horror gets like just thrown on things that are weird, and people are like, I don't know what this is, so you get horror,
Horror.
which I don't mind, but it is interesting. It's a genre that has so much with it. You have the campy, you have the more psychological, you have just the slasher font, you have everything. It's amazing.
It is definitely a far more malleable genre, I think, than any of the others. Because comedy, like a straight comedy, that's hit or miss. It's like
Yes. Mm-hmm.
jokes are going to land or not. The type of
Yep.
humor is going to land or not.
Yes.
Drama is drama. You're just like,
Yep.
okay, and then you get the drama comedy, and if you don't get a good mixture, then you just feel really weird about everything.
Yep.
But
Yep.
horror, you could get horror and work some comedy in it, but not be a complete horror comedy or the other way around. And
Yep.
like Zombieland, The Zombieland films are
Yes.
hilarious.
Yes.
You do kind of have to have a little bit of a dark sense of humor, though, I think, with horror,
I
don't you?
agree. Yes, but it's worth it. It's all
It's
good.
it's worth it. You might get a little strange looks.
Yep, yep.
Uh,
I used to collect Funko Pops, which I just ran out of space and needed to make feasts that I couldn't choose between them. So like therefore time to move on. But I definitely had the Funko Pop of Bill Murray from Zombieland, and then I had
nice.
the chase where he's his zombie instead of himself. So
That I'm impressed that you stopped yourself even though you had no space, because I know people who collect Funko Pops who get storage facilities so they can store
oh,
their Funko Pop.
I think it was either I had to take that direction or else I had to say goodbye. And it was, oh no, I'm moving. And that was really my moment of, oh, I don't want to move this stuff. It's heavy. It takes work. I can't just have it in a closet knowing it's there.
Yeah, Funko Pops are definitely a dark path to travel. Luckily, I
Yep.
haven't totally. I collect physical media. That's my dark path.
Yes.
Either this or vinyl or VHS
Yep.
tapes or whatnot. That's my uh
Yes.
that's still my vice. So
Yes. Physical media is my weakness, and there are so many cool box sets and so many things that I want to one day own, and that is where I'll leave it. I'll only stick with that now.
I'm going on record officially for that. So
Yes. And I'm going to remind myself of this every day from now on.
nope, nope, I'm not going to. Yeah, I tell
Nope.
myself that, and then I find something. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll buy it.
Yup,
Yeah.
yup. And definitely follow a few pages just to see what new physical media is coming out, and
Mhm.
the amazing collector sets for things. Oh man, that's so hard to pick and choose.
It's hard to pick and choose, and for festivals, it's always hard to pick and choose. But I'm glad we were able to choose yours.
Heck yeah.
And you've had some runs at some other festivals as well, right? The Milwaukee Short Film Festival you played at, was that? Did I see that?
Yeah, so we made it to the Milwaukee Illuminate Film Festival,
Hmm.
which is like the Sunday after the Milwaukee Short Film Festival. That was awesome to see that. We were at the Avalon Theater, so
Yeah,
like the space we were in, it literally had like stars above, so it was like, oh, I'm watching it there.
it's a gorgeous theater. It really is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had my large popcorn and life was good.
Actually, I think I don't know if he was at that. I know he was at the Milwaukee Short Film Festival. A friend of ours, Michael Vyers, was there at the Short Film Festival. I don't know if he was at
Yeah.
your showing, but yeah, he was there. He did a short film from the Darkness Theater a number of years ago, and that's how I met him. And it's really cool short as well. And Wisconsin,
Well, heck
that's the
yeah.
thing is, I don't think people realize the indie film scene that Wisconsin actually has. Uh,
Right. Yep.
which it sounds like you discovered. You find all these people that are like, yeah, I'll make a movie with you. Oh yeah, I got a gore kit in the back seat. We could just go
Yes.
make some knife cuts.
Yes, exactly. You just need to find them.
So, any other festival showings besides Sawdust City that it's going to be showing at?
Yeah, we've made it to the Chicago Horror Fest, so
Oh,
that's actually
nice.
coming up this weekend. So
Hmm.
I'm excited to go there. And then we're going to be at Horror Film Fest, which
Mm,
is actually in Pennsylvania, but
right.
they have Erie Lake, and so it's going
Right.
to be in their slasher stick comedy um block. So I'm a sucker for wordplay, so that was really fun to hear. And there there's the Halloween TV show. They're based
Sure.
in Seattle, Washington, so it's like horror hosty vibes, but we're going to be a part of their season 3. So, looking forward to
That's very cool. And what do you got coming up next? I mean, you got to have something coming in
it.
the fire, right? Or are you just focused on this right now?
Yeah, well, this is awesome, but then I'm also finishing up the screenplay for The World is Ending and I'm Stuck at Work on one of the yeah, and it's exactly what you think.
That's a great title. I love that.
Thank you. It was really cool. Jake, who helped write, he's my partner in life too, and so we had made a little comic last year, and we like mapped it out, and it kind of ends up being that the what we drew helped with the storyboard
Sure.
of it, and so just finishing up the screenplay, so then we can move on to the next things and get that going. But definitely it'll take a little more than 48 hours, but I'm excited to invest the time. There's going to be more gore than the last film, so I'm really pumped for that. And yeah, like I said, the title kind of gives it away, but that's okay.
But that's okay. With a
Yes.
shorter film too, if it's a shorter film, that's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Yes.
So is there a place, a website or someplace where they can keep up with all of your stuff coming up and where it's showing and all of that good stuff?
Yeah, that is going to be the Neon Perspective art page that Jake and I have. So it's at neon_perspective on Instagram, and then we're on Facebook too. So
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah. And so it begins. So it begins.
yes,
Now you're starting on that path, and
yes,
it's going to help because I had a very small part in helping campaign for the film incentives that now Wisconsin has. So you now have some incentives to help
yay!
make films as well. So
More incentives, and thank you for being a part of that. It's really cool to hear that even more things will start happening too.
I think it'll open up a lot for Wisconsin filmmaking and indie filmmakers especially. So I'm
Yes,
excited to see what that sparks, and hopefully it'll
yes,
help you out. And yeah,
yeah.
Good Intentions, folks, is going to be playing at Sawdust City Fright Fest on October 11th on the Saturday block. Happy to have that there. Happy to talk to you, and definitely would love to talk to you again once you have your next project finished, Aubrey.
Yes. Yes,
So.
that sounds amazing. Then we can talk about more movies. And
And I could talk movies for hours. So, but
yes.
I think we'll end it here. But yeah, all the information for links to your stuff will be put in the body of this interview. And
Aw,
yeah,
thank
thank you.
you.
You
And
bet.
thanks too for hosting such a freaking cool festival. Oh my gosh, I've been following you for years. So the fact that like Times Theater, that's one of the theaters I've grown up watching so many cool things. So
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Awesome to hear. Yeah,
yes.
they've had a long history of indie films there. So, and I've been
Yes.
involved with most of them except for like the one year they didn't show one. But otherwise, I've been involved in the fest some way, either in front of the camera or on the committee or both. For 13 years now. So.
Oh heck yeah. Well, all your hard work is so appreciated. It's such a fun time.
Oh, it is definitely a fun time. So there you go, folks. Come out, check it out, and keep an eye for Aubrey's next project because I'm sure it's definitely going to be a hit like this one.